drop myself.
Right.
And you interrupt the pattern. That's the first stage, is get them out of the system one thought process so you can get them extracted from the pattern. And then now each time I get them pulled from the pattern, now I can try to shade them towards a different system too that they're not in.
Because that's when you're really listening, that's when you're really learning, and that's when you're really hearing people.
Right. Yeah. And then so the long and short of this is when you get the client to recognize, take responsibility, and see, because that's the other thing is when they're in defensive posture, they can't do that because they can't. It's not that they can't take responsibility. They understand that there's so many other things that led to this. Now, someone shoved me, and I thought that they were going to, and I was very upset about that. And I went to throw the contents of the glass on the individual that shoved me, that caused the glass, the beer to spill in the first place. And so I went to throw the contents of the glass at the person because I thought he was going to come for a second shove or something. Like he and I did not like each other. He ended up running away, and when I went like this, the glass was wet and it slipped. Everyone, like, I don't go back to that bar yet. I'm not allowed to go there, and it's mutual because I didn't appreciate the way they handled it either. No one gave me a chance to explain what happened. They had a camera that looked like the glass left my hand. No one asked me, what, could you talk to me about what happened? It looks like you threw the glass. It's like I intended to throw the beer. And if you see, the glass had an arc to it. If I would have thrown it the way I was doing, it would have gone further and straighter. In any event, it shouldn't have happened. It was too dangerous to do. I recognize that. In the moment, when no one wants to hear what I'm saying or what I'm doing, then that's when you get to that like litos, like it's misery, like you're just a bad person. You intended to do that. You always killed someone. Like did you see that I got shoved out of nowhere? Did you just,
And isn't that partially because of some of those pattern interrupts that and patterns that people have in judging things?
Yeah.
It's so much easier to see the world in general in black and white. You're bad, you're good. And if you're bad, get out of here. We'll never bring you back. You're good, so we'll have you come back. But instead of saying there's some shades of gray where you have a good person who made a bad action in one situation, and maybe we treat this like gray instead of black or white.
Well, look at how society is right now. We'll know people for decades, and they'll see them do one bad thing, and then we'll believe that one bad thing is the real them.
It's easier.
That everything else was a sham, And then when it's us, then we want the grace,
Right.
We want grace, grace. Could you please understand that you've known me for all this time, that clearly that those things are not wrong,
It's just easier to see the world that way. It's easier to see the world in black and white. Now, fortunately, we have the ability, or you are in a position where you can hear some of these people, and sometimes their worst moments.
Yeah.
And what they're so used to having done to them is being judged. My ex, and she hates me.
Oh,
she
yeah.
thinks I'm the devil.
Yeah, and so when we have these circumstances, then they're stuck in this feeling of fear of abandonment and exile. And so, like, there's something about, like, we are a mortal social being. So the abandonment and the exile itself is almost like a wound that makes it feel like we're up against a grizzly bear because now we've got nothing and we're getting ready to be abandoned and exiled. And we also have the history of our upbringing and also the history of our lives, which I think everyone has one where they say, shame on you, you're a bad boy, it's your fault, Vaughn.